A few weeks ago, I sent out a survey to my viewers and nearly 400 of you responded. Today, I'm going to go over those responses, plus a cool new thing I'm doing in 2026.
This video is brought to you by Model Railroad Academy. Model Railroad Academy is your online resource for model railroad instructions, ideas, and information, with loads of tutorials and articles for model railroaders of every skill level. I've recently been going through their catalog and watching some of their older videos, including this one from Don Kassler and the M&K division of the B&O. It's been really cool to watch and see all the old techniques he used. Plus, you can find tutorials on everything from bench work to electronics to scenery, all sorts of things there. The first 1,000 people to sign up at the link in the description below will get a full year of premium membership to Model Railroad Academy for $1.49. Offer is valid for new members only.
The survey was broken into several parts. What kind of model railroader are you? What is your model railroad experience like currently? And what opinions on different products and companies you have? Let's start with the type of model railroader you are. All right, I've got the whole thing broken down right here on some nice pretty little graphs. And we're gonna start off with the first question, which is, what stage of model railroading are you in? The options were totally new to the hobby, I've been modeling for a little while, and I've been modeling for decades. 43.1%, the largest section, says they've been modeling for a little while, followed by 37.7% saying they've been modeling for years or decades, and 19.2% saying that they are totally new to the hobby. Then we have the current age range, and the largest single segment of that was 35 to 54 at 29.7%, followed by 55 to 65 at 24.6%, then 65 plus at 18.7%, 25 to 34 at 12.6%, 18 to 25 at 7.4%, and under 18 at 6.9%. Now, one thing that tells me is that it's just kind of the theory that I have of the hobby is that a lot of people go away from it in their late teens and 20s and come back to it in their 30s, and this really kind of reflects that theory that I have right there. In terms of skill level, most of you rate yourself as intermediate, which is 48.5%, followed by beginner at 26.9%, advanced 22.3%, and expert at 2.3%. In terms of what era do you model, the largest selection that you could do was I run what I want, and that was 46.2%, followed by modern diesel at 23.6%, mid-century diesel at 11.5%. For the record, that's like 1950s to 1970s. Transition era is 11.5%. 20th century steam is 4.4%, and 19th century steam is 2.8%. What is your favorite way to enjoy the hobby? The biggest section at 64.6% is a little bit of everything, all the things that you're about to hear. Then the next biggest segment at 13.3% was switching and operations. Then 7.4% with running trains continuously, 8.5% in scenery creation, 3.3% at electrical and digital projects, and 2.8% at model collecting. Are you a member of a model railroad club? The overwhelming answer was no at 80.5%, with 19.5% saying that you are a member. For the record, I am a member of a model railroad club. Next question, are you a member of the NMRA? 85.1% said they are not a member of the NMRA. 14.9% says they are a member of the NMRA. For the record, I am a member of the NMRA. DC or DCC? The overwhelming answer was 42.1% were DCC, 33.3% ran both DC and DCC, and 24.6% just ran DC. Now we can go into the model railroad experience. These are general questions about problems you have, things that you enjoy, and things like that. I got a lot of different answers on this question, but what is your favorite locomotive to own? The two that really came to the top were the Kato Big Boy. Now keep in mind, I'm more of an N-scale channel, and variants of the SD40-2. There was a couple years ago that a lot of SD40-2s came out, so people really like those. So Kato Big Boy and SD40-2. The main brands that dominated were Kato and Atlas. For problems with your railroad, there were of course a lot of different answers, but a lot of them come down to space and time, which is something that's very difficult for a lot of people with model railroading. And then another big one was wiring, specifically DCC wiring, as well as wiring for lighting and turnouts and things like that. So very interesting there. Not a ton of scenery problems, but really just lack of space, time, and also money, and also the issue of wiring. For projects and problems that you guys would like to see in a video, a lot of you said different scenery techniques, such as going start to finish from bare bones all the way to complete scenery, doing realistic water, dirty, weedy ballasting was actually one response that I got there. And then also we have small scale DCC, signals that don't use JMRI, a lot of different things, and even things like a little bit of airbrush and more basic DCC things. Next question, is there any area of model railroading that you want more information about? And the specific ones on this were really scenery, electrical work, and a few other things like 3D printing. The next question was kind of similar. It's one where I asked if a lack of knowledge in a certain area was holding you back from building part of your railroad, and the two main things were electrical work and scenery. A lot more comments on electrical work, that there are people that are nervous about wiring things wrong. The final part of the survey was on your opinions on different model railroad companies and products. And the first question I asked is, what is your favorite model railroad company? A lot of you said you don't have a favorite, you just kind of like them, but ones that really popped out, now keep in mind I am in scale. Kato was an overwhelming favorite of a lot of people, but some of the other answers were Broadway Limited, Scale Trains, and Rapido was another one out there, so that got a lot of different answers, but Kato was the overwhelming favorite for a lot of people. I also asked, what model railroad company, if any, have you had problems with, and what were the problems? A lot of these were one-off individual issues, but a couple that I want to highlight are really the Broadway Limited Paragon 3 system in N-Scale was finicky. I have one, and I actually had to end up fixing it myself, and I got it working great now. But yes, Broadway Limited Paragon 3 in N-Scale is a bit finicky. Paragon 4 is great. I love Paragon 4. It works phenomenally, but Paragon 3 is finicky. A couple people have had bad experiences with individual locomotives being damaged in package and things like that. One that I see is Kato couplers. I love everything else Kato, except for their couplers are not my favorite. So that's one that I have to agree with. There's a lot of different one-offs and things like that. Someone actually said that today they don't have any problems, but 25 years ago they definitely had problems. The next one was really interesting. I asked if you were willing to pay for a model railroad service, what would you be most likely willing to pay for? And there were two real standouts at 25.9%, which was custom 3D printing, and then 23.3% is custom paint and or weathering. Then in third place, we had DCC installation at 18.7%. Then in fourth place, we had track planning at 10.8%. Then in fifth place, we had custom non-locomotive electronics at 9.5%. Then, and tied for sixth place, we had at 4.4%, we had bench work and complete layout builds, and then at 3.1%, we had layout scenery. So what I gather from this is a lot of people want those custom detail parts or things that are custom 3D printed, and they also want help with weathering their locomotives, whether they're nervous or they know people who are really good at it, and that a lot of people really want to do the scenery because the scenery is the fun part to them, which is why it was the lowest section. Next up, what is one model railroad product other than engines, track, or rolling stock that you could not live without, and why? And the overwhelming answer was a DCC system, which I completely agree with. That's something that has just changed the way that model railroads operate and how you can use them. I think that this is something that has really just changed the hobby and made it different, and it was a great pivot when it was needed as the toy train aspect was kind of fading. Then I ask, if you could create any product other than engines or rolling stock for model railroading, what would it be? The overwhelming answer was was not sure what they would create, but then the overwhelming definitive answer was buildings. Yes, because buildings are something that can make or break, especially with people wanting to do custom buildings to model realistic scenes from actual places. And buildings came up multiple times. Also, modern vehicles, which as an N-scaler, I completely agree with this. It is very hard to find modern vehicles in N-scale. And if there's any other ones, I think that's all the main ones. What do you wish a model railroad manufacturer would make? Some of the things that came up were standardized couplers for all makes, current model vehicles, modern cars and trucks and things like that. Someone actually said MARTA, which I thought was an interesting one. And then small machines like rail cars, operating cranes, etc. Last question was, what is a tiny model railroad company you would tell everyone about? A couple of the ones that came up here, Klondike's, which makes a lot of modules and things like that. All of my modules, except for a couple, are Klondike's modules, I will say that. Tichy Train Group, which makes like signs and detail parts and everything. They're actually just about 2 hours north of me up in Burlington, North Carolina. Mini Prints, that's a really good one out there. A lot of detail parts for that. Let's see here, there's a couple other ones. A lot of people put their individual hobby shops and model railroad shops, but there's a couple other ones out there, but mainly those are the 3 big ones that came up. So basically modular and detail companies like Tichy Train Group, Klondike's, Mini Prints. Basically these are cool little companies that people are having really good experiences with. I am going to use all of this information to guide what kind of videos that I make in 2026. That way I'm making more of the videos that you would like to see. So that is something that I have coming up in 2026. But one cool new thing I am doing is I'm doing a Viewer's Choice Award show in January. Now I've done the Viewer Model Railroad of the Year, but we're adding to that. So let's take a look at how this will work. I will be doing the following categories. Viewer Model Railroad of the Year. Model Railroad Hobby Shop of the Year. In-Scale Product of the Year. HO Scale Product of the Year. Product of the Year in any category. In-Scale Manufacturer of the Year. HO Scale Manufacturer of the Year. Manufacturer of the Year in any category. I will also be giving my pick for the In-Scale Locomotive of the Year, In-Scale Rolling Stock of the Year, and In-Scale Set of the Year. The rules for the Locomotive of the Year are that it must be either a newly released or newly retooled so that it is a new model. No re-releases of the same cars or locomotives. Something new must be on it. The nomination forms are linked in the description below. The way that this is basically going to work is that you guys are going to nominate for about a week, and then I'm going to turn over the nominations to my patrons. They're going to vote on the finalists, and then I will announce the finalists in my What's Coming Up in 2026 video at the end of this year. And then in January, I will, after I've done all the voting and everything, I will have a big award show that goes out. So that's what is going on, and I think it's going to be a load of fun. It's something that I'm really excited to try. Yeah, because there's not really all that much in model railroading for this. So I thought it'd just be a fun thing because it is award season in all the entertainment venues. So let's have some model railroad awards. So I hope this is going to be a lot of fun. Again, all that is linked in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, I'm Jimmy from the DIY and Digital. Stay safe, be kind, and happy railroading.